Alright. What is up, everybody? It's your boy Jelly here. Gonna be bringing you a little bit of tips and tricks today for search and destroy. If you're bad, pay attention. And a lot of these are useful in other game modes as well, but right now, you can use these on all maps. It's just, simple things that actually help a lot. So let's get into this first. When you go around the corner, a lot of people like to jump and sprint. You know, you see some pros do this and jump around. When they jump, they are always pre-firing when they jump, or they are always scoping it at a spot where they believe a player is going to be. You can line it up like that and jump out and aim, or you can practice running straight, jumping, and snapping. You know, it's not easy for everybody, but if you can get that down, that's something that you can do. But just be wary that when you are jumping, you hear those footsteps, they're loud as fuck, let me tell you. Also, another thing to really pay attention to is your shadow. If I'm wanting to peek this slowly, right now, if they're anywhere from that head glitch spot on boxes to around this corner, they can see my shadow. If they're up top in the building looking down, they see my shadow. As soon as my shadow gets here, they're gonna pre-fire me, right? My shadow's out there. Guys there are looking at me. Guys here are looking at me. Guys up here are looking at me. Same thing with down here. You're here. Whether you're crouched here or not, if they're down there at the other end with a sniper, they can see your shadow. They can call out that you're here. So pay attention to your shadow. It makes a difference. Another tip, when you're dead silent and you're running through a puddle, sometimes it splashes. These ones aren't gonna do it for me, but some maps, like Gunrunner, have a whole water section, and a lot of the times the water will splash with your dead silent on. That is inaudible to your enemies. Now the next thing I want to get at is getting to angles that favor you. If you want to get better, obviously you want to be fighting one-on-one gunfights. So if I were to run out of this corner at the start of a match, and I were to go here to look at the hill and fight a guy here, this is a very, very bad spot to be. Why that is because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles where somebody could kill you from. I suppose they could be down here, but they would, come over here first. So there's 8 areas of attack where you can be seen from, where you cannot see them. Even if you're aiming up here on the hill and they come out here or here on the side of the building, you still have to move your crosshair, and they're going to get that peeker's advantage on you. Oftentimes, the only way you're going to get them is if they miss a shot, you're able to jump and maneuver, as well as flick over at the same time and hit headshots. It's doable, absolutely, but you just want to be careful of that. So if you want to check hill, a better position might be back here, where you can run over here, you can prone, and then you can watch hill from there. Now, even though it's not very clear, you can see the top there, you can still see a little bit of snow through these bushes. So you are still looking at the top of hill. You are making yourself a much smaller target. Now there are only 1, 2, 3 angles, maybe 4, where you're gonna get shot from. So by doing something like this, you've made yourself a smaller target, and you've reduced the number of eyes that could potentially see you. Now, this being search and destroy, if you are at the start of the round, you shouldn't have to worry about these two at all for the first 30 seconds. But also, if you're going to sit here for a while, after that 30-45 initial seconds goes by, you might want to think about repositioning somewhere where you're watching your flank. Now, I don't condone proning all the time, but in some cases, it's a good idea. Now the next thing I want to talk about is when you are rounding a corner. I see a lot of people, let's say you're here, you know, there's somebody there. Yeah, there might be somebody there, on site, in the window. If I were to clear this way, yeah, I see some people just kind of poke up here, do one of these kind of things. And that's fine sometimes, but don't go back and forth. Go out once, go back in once. Get your information. If there was nobody, yes, repeat again if you need to. If there were people, don't repeat it. They're aiming at you, I promise you. How you should be going about peeking this is one angle at a time, like I said, to reduce angles. So what you want to do, if you are going to clear this A site, you would want to first make sure your trench is clear, right? Pre-aim that spot right there. Right there is where a lot of the enemies sit. So you pre-aim that, make sure nobody's there. Then you'll get up because you're going to be standing up, so you're an easy target for anybody here. That's why you're clearing that first. Reducing the number of obvious places where an enemy could be. Next, slowly peek this corner. Make sure nobody's at blue barrels. You know, you can go left a little more, make sure nobody's over here. A lot of people prone behind this pole. And you'll be able to see them here. If not, you have stuns and grenades for a reason. Check it out. Nobody's there. Great. We checked barrels. Now see how I'm peeking out like this? This is bad. The reason why is because when I peek out, there's the blue barrel on A site next to the bomb, where they can see me, and I can see them, yes, but my crosshair is not over them. When you're peeking out, you want to keep your sight on the very edge of the object you're going around. So as soon as that enemy comes into range, he's dead. He doesn't get a chance to shoot. You're having that peeker's advantage. Now other angles are a little harder than this one to clear. That's a pretty easy one. But like this green box here, you're going to want to back up. Make yourself smaller with this hill because it drops down. And this is how you're going to check the window. You'll see any sniper from here, and with all the grass and rocks and the rock wall and phone pole right next to you, you're going to be a very hard target. Especially since you are now blocking their vision with their defense. You can also crouch, take pop shots as needed. Even if it's enough just to get them to fall back for a minute, that's sometimes all you need. Next, you just want to take this same angle and walk up, because the next angle is this wood box. There is a spot where you can stand on this wood box and you can peek just the top of your head over it, and you can see everything this way. It's a great spot. I use it a lot. But so next, you just take that, you keep going, you know, check your next window by your pole right there, boom. Checking box, and you're moving this width, and you're moving this width. Make sure nobody's back here on this brick wall. At the same time, you're watching this. When there's two angles, you need to prioritize. If you've been watching this the whole time, it's very likely that nobody ran in here because you've been watching it. But just watch your brick wall, and you just continue on, just keeping small angles and peeking slowly. Now, obviously you don't have time to do everything like that, but if I were to do a quick run through, you can do this a couple times on your own just to get better at it. You run up, maybe you slide, get out of the way. Right here, boom, checked, I check hill, boom, checked. Nothing there, nothing prone, okay. Blue barrel, sight, blue barrel, window, nothing. I'm gonna drop down because I forgot to do that. Check box, check window, check truck, check back wall. I'm checking hill, checking hill, checking hill. I don't see anything hill. I might throw a nade over hill if they're close. Might be on the back side of this house also. Once you do that, you're pretty much free to take this site, or at least come get a plant for your team. So little things like that. A lot of times for your angles, a lot of people don't do this. If there was somebody behind these boxes here, and I run up, and I peek this, they're probably pre-aiming me, right? If I run all the way back, you can find new angles to attack them. You can go back further, you can look underneath here, you can see the top of these boxes. Taking a step back almost always will put you in an advantageous position, simply because your enemy is expecting you to be right up against cover, because that's just how people have played for so many years. They say, I am in cover, when in reality, you know, I mean, just counting that way. Alright, let's go back to the truck. People can say, okay, I'm in cover. They're gonna get shot underneath the truck. You're gonna peek, there's gonna be somebody aimed here. Might be somebody that flanks up here. But if you know that they're over there, and you're here, well, you still have the same amount of cover, right? Still got top boxes. Got them through the underneath. Now if they come up top, they're not going to be able to see you very easily through these trees. You have much better cover by just taking a step back. And that's true for a lot of places also. A lot of people like to come up here and play this wall. And there's nothing wrong with that in a retake situation. You can do a lot of quick peeks just to get information. Make yourself a really hard target. Just pre-aim peek, pre-aim peek, pre-aim peek. And then when you get a guy, just snap on. But also, you can just back up, right? Clear your corners one at a time. Get everything here. You can still peek, but instead of being right on that target, now you can peek and you can jiggle this pole. So a lot of times just taking a step back and playing a little slower actually does help. It gives you more advantageous positions, and you know, it gives you a little bit more time to breathe. If they throw nades, they have to throw a lot farther. You know, a lot of people work really hard on their A grenades. They get them to blow up right above this blue barrel and hit you. So if you're playing on site here and you peek this, they're throwing nades at you. You try to run away, boom, they're landing like right here, you know? You're not getting away, boom, you're still getting hit full force. But if you take that step back over here and you're watching a tighter angle like this, and you have a buddy down there in the trench watching you that way, you have a tighter angle, they get to see you a lot less. And then that nade comes. Well, if that nade's landing there and you're here, boom, you're not getting hit with that shrapnel. If you're playing back here, playing an angle like this, crouched, where it's going to be very hard for them to see you. I mean, yeah, you have to worry about that angle, but something a little further back where they're playing presence towards B, you can pull back a little bit. Just sit back. That nade comes, that's doing no damage to you. You can sit there, and then once that nade goes, you have time to reposition up here and really just stick it to the people rushing through. And this is